Each of us has a purpose. We are destined to do something meaningful, not only to support our loved ones, but to positively impact our communities throughout the country. What do you think a private Christian education looks like? Grand Canyon University offers over 175 high-quality online programs across 9 colleges. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
Admit one, but beware, for there be monsters in there. Bundy.
We serial killers. We're everywhere.
Gacy.
Do you have any idea how long it would take the guards to get here if you screamed?
Dahmer.
I'm a pervert and a killer.
The Zodiac.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
They're all here, inside the True Crime Movie Club. And now, for our feature presentation.
The year was 1978, when the killing spree of John Wayne Gacy finally came to an end.
Killed 33 times, and his victims were all boys and young men.
The county sheriff's deputy made a gruesome discovery in the crawl space beneath a Chicago residence.
Authorities have tried on numerous occasions to elicit a detailed confession from Gacy, but he has remained tight-lipped about the crimes.
I mean, the idea that I'm some crazed killer strolling around the streets, stalking and murdering young altar boys is ludicrous.
I'm gonna write a letter to John Wayne Gacy. I'm gonna get information out of him that no one else has been able to. Not the police, not the FBI, not even his own wife. I'm gonna get inside this guy's head. Hello?
I have a collect call from inmate John Gacy from the Menard Correctional Center. Will you accept the charges?
Operator, I accept.
Go ahead, sir.
What's up, buddy?
I can't believe I'm actually talking to you right now.
Just trying to relax, you know. You and I are gonna be real close. I look so forward to meeting you, Jason.
This guy's talent is fooling people into trusting him. You can't deal with it.
My plan is working. I'm getting him to open up, and I don't want to lose him now. John, do you feel any remorse for killing all those boys?
I never killed anyone. Jason, come on, relax.
Who do you think did it? John, if it wasn't you.
Oh, Jason, we're a lot more alike than you think.
Jason, you haven't been the same.
Jason, that's enough!
Jason, where have you been? I've been calling you for days.
I've been busy.
Jason, it's gone too far.
Alyssa!
Don't play me, Jason. You have any idea what I'm capable of? Because I know where you live. Do you have any idea how long it would take the guards to get here if you screamed?
All right, everybody, welcome to another installment of True Crime Movie Club, where we watch the worst of true crime cinema so you don't have to.
You lucky sons of bitches.
You owe us your lives, what you're doing to us.
Please donate heavily to our Patreon account.
If you donate $5 to our Patreon, we will commit a true crime.
Dude, the only true crime we're guilty of right now is making this podcast.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jesse. Today, we've got Dan with us.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Mike, a.k.a. Chef Bagels.
How's it going?
Also joining us today, we've got all the way from several podcasting projects we've all done together, we've got Jeff.
Hi, guys. How's everyone doing?
Today in the movie club, we are talking about the 2010 true crime film entitled Dear Mr. Gacy, directed by...
Dear Mr. Gacy.
Shut up.
Bring me a twink.
Oh, no. We're not going there.
That cannot be cut out. That is too good.
Jesus Christ.
You better not edit that out.
Dear Mr. Gacy was directed by Macedonian film director Svetozar Ristovsky.
That's easy for you to say.
Who you've never heard of.
If you have, wow.
Director of such films you've never heard of as Hunter, Joy of Life, and Mirage. Dear Mr. Gacy, which was released 9 years ago, is the last credited project for him on Wikipedia.
It was his Requiem.
In the interest of fairness, I am going to check the IMDb page for this guy just to make sure that Wikipedia is not slacking. Oh my god, I clicked the link to his IMDb and I got a 404.
No, this guy, he's so outcast in the Hollywood community that we don't even allow him to be on the internet anymore.
Yeah, this guy's really underground. Speaking of underground, we're talking about bodies in a crawl space and one Ron Goldman lookalike's quest to get into the mind of infamous serial killer John Wayne Gacy. So,
real quick, can we just talk about Gacy for just one moment?
Let's do that, because man, Gacy,
he's one of my favorites.
Just I just love that he denies everything.
I never killed those boys. But if I did,
he absolutely will never. He never admitted to it, insofar as I know, and
he still hasn't admitted to it. We've tried to contact him a couple times on Ouija boards.
He's using the Shaggy defense. Fucking Gacy's. I just thought that was fucking funny as shit.
For the record, by the way, Svetozar, his IMDb page lists some other credits, and fucking none of them I've heard of, except for
this one.
A movie called Lazar that came out 4 years ago, and I was really hoping it was about Bob Lazar, because that would have been fucking hysterical, but unfortunately it's not.
He just misspelled laser.
Bob Laser.
The guy is really, to me, is the original boogeyman for young boys. I mean, honest to God, I mean, this...
Oh, yeah, no.
They were people in Chicago, in the Chicago area, were so absolutely wrong about... You watch them early reports, they're like, he was a law-abiding citizen. This motherfucker did 7 years for molesting a boy in another state long before he was a law-abiding citizen in Des Plaines.
Yeah, that was back in the 60s, and he was actually interviewed on film where they show him, talking about how he's, a cook in prison.
Yeah.
In, 1968 or 69.
Well, I'm John Gacy. I'm from Waterloo, Iowa.
And you're a man of some authority here. What is your title?
Well, I'm first cook in the kitchen, and I run the morning meal and the afternoon meal in the kitchen.
John, how long have you been here?
I've been here now a year and about 2 weeks.
Why am I asking how long do you plan to take up residence here?
Well, I hope to be getting out sometime in May.
Well, good. You're going to continue as a cook, use that as a profession?
Right. This is my profession before I came in.
All right.
Food service.
Yeah, and then 10 years later, he's getting his picture taken with Carter and shit.
Yeah. I mean, because that's hanging out with politicians is what every child molester should be doing.
Well, it's what every serial killer does. That's why Donald Rumsfeld had a career. I miss him sometimes. What a shithead he was.
Rummy?
Yeah, Rummy was great.
I got a picture with him. I'll send it to you.
Holy shit.
Oh, please.
I'm not fucking kidding. I've got a picture of me standing next to Rumsfeld.
Put that on a shirt.
Huh? Yeah. It's me, him, and his wife standing next to each other.
That's awesome. He has a wife, huh? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Lizards mate for life, don't they?
They do. Oh, shit.
That's
Jeff,
amazing.
did you ever meet Dick Cheney?
I absolutely did. Yeah, I met the whole
Did he
staff
try
up
and
there.
shoot you in the face?
No. He was one of the few who did not try to shoot me in the face.
Was it before or after he didn't have a heart in his chest?
It was before. All of this
never
was
had a
right
heart.
after the invasion of Iraq. Right after the invasion of Iraq is when I met them all.
I gotta ask, what's the man's handshake like?
Oh, he's a solid dude. I mean, it's like when you shake your hand, he's got it. Him and Rumsfeld. Rumsfeld really was the one that had a little bit of a. He seemed a little bit more frail than what it seemed like. He's a little more of a frail guy. A lot of, I guess.
Oh, yeah, his prime was the Nixon administration.
Yeah.
He was old then.
Yeah, Cheney was definitely in charge of a room when he was in that room. I mean, he
Cheney seems like he would just shake your hand and just squeeze it, just like, I have your life.
That's exactly
Cheney
what
was
it was
in
like.
charge of the president.
He's shaking your hand, just smiling. It's like, I could have you killed.
Yeah, and then you got Bush.
I will kill you.
And when you met Bush, he'd shake your hand, and in his eyes, you could see this whole. You realize it's them. it's not me. Please help me. Help me. Help. Like, it's, he was almost like he was blinking, trying to get you to get him out of that situation.
How you doing? I don't know what I'm doing right now.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm way over my head.
Bush strikes me as the kind of guy that, like, you go to shake his hand and, like, he's trying to give you, like, the awkward, like, secret handshake that he saw in an episode of Fresh Prince or something. Well, never mind. No, okay.
I definitely see him. He'd go in for, like, a fist bump and then handshake and then back to a fist bump. He'd be like, how you doing there?
Who among us hasn't fucked that up?
Everyone has at least once, especially if you're white.
So this film is based on the, let me make sure I get the year right on the memoir that came out.
1994?
1999. Gacy was executed in 94. So, the Dear Mr. Gacy is based on the memoir The Last Victim, A True Life Journey into the Mind of the Serial Killer, written by Jason Moss, who is the lead character of this film and is coincidentally played by an actor named Jesse Moss.
Not related.
No relation whatsoever. And for the record, did not have the time to read The Last Victim, so when we are talking about Jason Moss, we are talking about the character presented in the film and not the real-life person, and we'll kind of get into why towards the end here we are 100% making that differentiation. So if we come off as disrespectful, it's because of the movie, and I think we can kind of start there. The main issue with Dear Mr. Gacy is there is not a single likable character in it, at least of all the main character.
Oh, especially the main character.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a deliberate choice or not, if it's just like he's supposed to be this arrogant, sniveling little shit in it, but either way, it's just, the movie was a slog, because there's no one to really, I don't want to say care about or anything, but there's no one you really want to follow along on the journey in this.
There's no MacGuffin either. I mean, you get what there's nothing. I mean, the guy, he wants to talk to a serial killer. That's
the
it.
The MacGuffin is the term paper.
Yeah, and it's so lame because when they talk, he's like, I'm getting so, all right.
You're gonna get your fucking paper.
Yeah, let me break this down real quick so everyone knows what we're talking about moving forward. Jason Moss in this film is an 18-year-old college student who, for his term paper, wants to interview John Wayne Gacy, ostensibly to get inside his head. Never explains his methodology further than, if I pretend to be gay, he'll open up to me. And, that's about it. That's literally it.
Actually, that's accurate. That's pretty much dead on. Exactly what he did.
And it's literally 2 hours of him being an asshole to everyone around him, and everyone around him are also assholes. Like, the closest thing to a sympathetic character is the fucking professor, because his mom is an asshole in the movie, his dad is a dumbass, and his brother is like shithead Ron Weasley the whole movie.
I don't know, he did remind me of Ron Weasley, but I was thinking like his girlfriend.
His girlfriend is the girlfriend that is in, and not to get too political here, but his girlfriend is the girlfriend that is in every true crime movie. She's just a nagging bitch. There is a little bit of a sexism problem in a lot of true crime films where the only female leads are either annoying, overbearing mothers or girlfriends that just don't understand, man, I'm close to a breakthrough. We saw that in Zodiac, and we're seeing that in Dear Mr. Gacy.
The only exception to that rule being, what's her name, that female serial killer they did that movie on.
Aileen Wuornos?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's not really the nagging girlfriend.
I'd fucking hang out with Aileen Wuornos.
I wouldn't.
Dan, you're her fucking victimology dead set, bro. You don't want to hang out with Aileen Wuornos. You'd end up in a fucking ditch on the side of the road with her with your wallet.
I mean, yeah, you know.
Listen, you live in Texas. If you want to hang out with Aileen Wuornos, just go to any bar. I'm sure you'll find...
Just really any honky tonk, I'll find him.
Any honky tonk, you will find a fucking woman with no eyebrows, smoking fucking USA Gold Light 100s in a soft pack, talking about all the shit she's seen. You can have your Aileen Wuornos fantasy. But anyway.
So one of the issues I thought I had with this, and I think it goes back to what you were saying before, Jesse, about not knowing the real story, is the real story itself is almost perfect enough to be a movie, and some of the things they cut out of the real story, I think, damaged the story.
They cut so much out. This is only like a quarter of it.
I know.
Because it wasn't just Gacy. It was also Ramirez, and
Ramirez
Manson and Dahmer,
Ramirez,
right?
Lucas, Dahmer and Manson were also pen pals
Yeah,
with this kid.
holy shit.
That is a fucking who's who of, and why do you, now I get it.
This could have been the Avengers of serial killer movies.
Exactly. It's like Avengers assemble and let's kill young gay men. I mean, that's exactly what, other than Manson. Manson could have been like the guy, he's like, oh, I'm Manson. But it's, the rest of them, it's just...
Don't you call me up on the phone trying to be a goddamn twink, okay? I know the man's trying to make you do that, and the man's playing foosball with your mind.
Right. So
right,
that's
Charlie.
in and of itself. I will give Jesse Moss, the actor who plays Jason Moss, and I've been looking forward to saying this, I really think this kid's performance is overshadowed by a crap movie because I think he does a very good job in this movie playing an asshole character, but still he pulls it off.
No, one thing I set in my notes for this, I was like, main character, I was like, Jason appears to be going through an unseen cocaine binge because he's just becoming such an asshole. He's sweating all the time.
Dude, what would you do if you were talking to a guy as manipulative and crazy as fucking John Wayne Gacy?
I would say, Dad, please take it easy.
Yeah, right. First off, I want to commend the accent on this. Because while I was hearing this, all I was thinking was, da bears.
Da bears.
Oh my god.
It's just like, okay, there is this, as Dan said, there is this clear trajectory of a downfall with this character into him cracking mentally. But the problem is the film plays it safe for the most part. So all we're really shown of his correspondence with Gacy for the first 3/4 of the film is just him calling him on the phone and him just bitching about school and his dad. It really isn't until like the downfall is already in place where Gacy starts talking about weird shit. Like at one point he encourages him to molest his brother.
I was going to say that was like the first point where it went past. Well, he encouraged him to go out and like go hooking.
Yeah, go hooking.
That fucking scene was easily the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
As illogical as
I
it
remember
is.
when that was when that scene was happening, I remember I was like, okay, this movie has something going on, and then that was it.
What you see in that scene is the fact that Gacy honestly makes this guy his final victim. So the name of the book is accurate because this guy literally gets roofied and almost raped and probably much worse. And what I'm thinking to myself is this is exactly like the MO. It's almost like Gacy talked to this guy that did this to him in this situation and like set this up to take this own kid's life also. And so I think it's like he really was almost the final victim. And that makes Gacy serial killer beast mode pimp level. Because this guy from prison almost kills someone.
Well, yeah, because serial killing is all about possession, it's all about playing God, and it's all about pulling the strings. But about that scene, all right, for those of you who have not seen this part of the movie, basically while he is on the phone with Gacy, Jason Moss, who, again, as I mentioned earlier, is pretending to be gay to get Gacy to open up. Gacy convinces him to go out and try selling his body on the street because he mentions, oh, money is tough. So what he does is, in typical white 18-year-old kid fashion, goes to like the shitty area of the nearest city, finds 2 male streetwalkers, and basically says, how do you do what you do? And they bring him to, classic seedy underground
Some
gay bar.
that they're known in.
Yeah. And he is roofied.
Make my special friend a drink.
Yeah, bring my special friend here a drink, which is, within 30 seconds, it's clear that he has been roofied. Now, you think, okay, holy shit, the stakes are risen here, something terrible's gonna happen to him. Nope, he literally gets up and hobbles out of the bar.
To his vehicle, parked nearby.
Illegally parked in an alley where he sleeps.
Where they saw him park.
Yeah, where he sleeps soundly, undisturbed, for 8 hours. So it's just like, okay, this went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, at best, he would have woke up and he would have been like, my ass hurts.
Yeah, I figured, or at the very least, it would have been a cop tapping on the window. Son, what are you doing here?
Yeah, that would have been a little bit, you get some tension built on it.
No, it definitely just deflated.
What I got from this is the kid the entire movie he's claiming that he's pretending to be this way just so he can get into the mind of Gacy. Yet, he allows himself to be, because this is where I think he realizes he's been manipulated. Mm-hmm. He allows himself to be talked into doing this. Whereas if you're pretending for Gacy's benefit just to get his trust, why actually go through with the act? And I think the fact that he puts himself out there becomes very, very almost victimized. And you could say he's victimized just because he's in that situation, but almost victimized by a third party. I think he starts to realize that he's just as easily being molded by Gacy as he's trying to fool Gacy.
Well, that's where you really start seeing the downgrade of his mental situation. And then when they get to the point where he's like carrying a gun around the house.
Very dangerously, mind you.
And by the way, that gun just shows up. Like, it doesn't show him go to like a pawn shop and get it. So it's never established if that gun is real or if it's a starter pistol or a cap gun.
Legal. No, I mean, you saw him loading it. It was real.
He tried to fling it and all the bullets went everywhere.
Oh, they did show him loading it? Okay, well...
Yeah, he's trying to do the fucking Western flip.
My point stands. That gun is just there. And then it is never seen again.
It was probably his father's gun.
Yeah. He's like rubbing his fucking temple with it, like...
Yeah, he answers the door with it.
Answers the door with it in the middle of suburbia.
You could tell he was like, this is my De Niro moment. This is my Taxi Driver.
Oh, you know what? I mentioned that to Katie because I watched this with my wife, and I was like, okay, he's trying to do De Niro, and I was like looking at him, and he's like, you're gonna make me sweaty, and I gotta pace back and forth, and I go, you talking to me? You talking to me? In the fucking mirror. I'm like, really? I was disappointed with that.
That's exactly. He literally got told by the director.
Channel De Niro.
Yeah, channel De Niro in this part. So the kid went and he watched, and for all of what he does a good job in, I think I think you guys are absolutely right. It's like he watched that scene from Taxi Driver and then just went and did his version of it.
I don't even think he did his version of it. I think he did De Niro's version of
it. But real quick, just before we move on from that the roofie scene, to address your question, they ostensibly set that up as, well, he has to go out in the field and do this because Gacy is going to give him a pop quiz about what happened the next time he calls.
Yeah, he wants details.
Yeah, and this is in like 1993, 1994, so this was like, you couldn't go on the internet or go on YouTube and watch, like a male prostitute talking about what his night on the job is like and stuff like that. So
you got to go in for the full experience.
You got to go and do it.
Yeah, he ostensibly had to go do it for himself because, if Gacy senses that I'm making this shit up, he'll cut off contact and my term paper is dead. And that is like as far as it goes into the methodology. Like I said, the rest of it is just him like talking about mundane shit on the phone with him. And in real life, he had met with Gacy at least twice.
Yeah, it was 2 times.
Yeah, but the 2 times were all within the last 2 months of his life.
Oh, the last time he saw him was within a week of him being executed by the state.
Well, they got into that in the movie as well. They said he was only 6 days away from execution.
Yeah, and we'll get into that further into the episode here. But let's go back to where we were originally detouring to. Bill Forsyth, the movie's saving grace. Let's talk about William Forsyth's portrayal of real-life serial killer John Wayne Gacy.
First of all, let's remember that William Forsyth he's been in Raising Arizona, Devil's Rejects, Once Upon a Time in America. This guy has got some chops.
Yeah, no, he's got a good resume.
This dude can fucking act. He was in The Rock.
Yeah, William Forsyth fucking carried this movie.
Yeah, and you could tell that half the budget went to him, and they filmed all of his scenes in 2 days, if not 1. His hair does not change the entire movie.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was intense William Forsyth the whole time, speaking through his face.
Mm-hmm. Open D32. Hey, Picasso. Your mail's here.
How's it going, buddy?
You're a clown, huh?
Well, that's what the people want, Stan. That's what they get. How else could I be able to afford this lavish lifestyle in here?
Speaking of lavish lifestyle, you're Cuban skinning.
Oh, yeah? Great.
Oh, back to the grind, huh?
And where you off to in such a hurry? I thought maybe we'd kick back and smoke a couple of these babies.
You know the rules.
Hey, Stan. Was it meant to be broken?
So I hear.
Best of your family, pal.
Close D32.
I want to give some credit. I want to give some credit to the cinematographer. If you guys watch the beginning of the movie, every piece of real footage they show of Gacy, they don't show his face at all. So that when they move to the William Forsythe, who does do a very good job of looking like Gacy also,
Yeah,
they don't.
he's not bad.
You establish him as the real Gacy from that footage because that footage shows all the footage of like Gacy covering his face up, and they don't show his arrest photo, and it's all this stuff of Gacy from behind, Gacy from the side. So then when you see Forsyth as Gacy, that is Gacy to the viewer.
Yeah, the production design did very good with that. Unlike the previous installment of True Crime Movie Club, where fucking Bundy and the Green River Killer made 1980s news broadcasts look like CNN streaming in widescreen with a crawl at the bottom. This one actually blended their recreation news footage with the original news footage fairly well. They got the broadcast lines right. They shot it in the proper aspect ratio of 4:3. They degraded it a bit. And speaking of degradation, it wouldn't be a true crime movie if they didn't show a flashback to the height of the murders, and all of a sudden the colors change to sepia and there's digital film grain added because, as we all know, our memories are filmed in 16 millimeter.
I know mine are.
So they were a little hokey with that, a little tropey, but yes, as far as photoshopping him into the booking photos and the news footage, they did a bang up job there. And I think we're really getting to the heart of the issue of why this film is on True Crime Movie Club today, because it's not a bad watch like Bundy and the Green River Killer
That
is.
was painful. This is just slow, and it's more a pacing issue than anything else because the acting wasn't awful. It was okay.
The dialogue was garbage.
Yeah, the dialogue was garbage.
I think that budget, and along with the budget, getting a writer in there who could have done a better job with the screenplay and the writing. And
if this film had another $250,000, I think that it could have done. I don't think this had a wide theatrical release. I think this was direct to video and maybe some festivals. If it had another $250,000 to $1 million to work with in the budget, I think that this film would have been perfectly good for theaters. And if they had maybe a couple more well-known and well-equipped actors and actresses in this, I think this would have been a real standout in the genre. And that's what's so frustrating about it. It's like, it's not so bad, it's good, the way that Bundy and the Green River Killer is. It's just like, you're watching it and it's 2 hours and 10 minutes of, this could have been so much better. It's almost there. The cinematography is great. The lighting is great. The editing is perfect. William Forsythe gives a great performance, but literally everything else, it's just like,
Well, let me also add a little bit. At the last 20 minutes of this movie are very, very good.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Well, you're talking about the scenes where he's in the jail?
Let me tell you something. Do you have any idea how long it would take the guards to get here if you screamed? Maybe 1 or 2 minutes. I could kill you right now if I wanted to. You know that, don't you? Huh? You know that.
Yeah, John.
But I got other plans in mind for you. You see that table there? Look. That's where I'm gonna do you. And after I'm done, I'm gonna wrap my hands around this throat and I'm gonna squeeze until it breaks.
John, why are you talking to me like this, huh?
John, why are you talking to me like this? You know something, Jason? In person, you were really a disappointment. You were. You're a little pussy boy. Huh? A little pussy boy. A little pussy boy.
From the point where he realizes that where he finally has his moment of epiphany from the part where he kind of tells Gacy that I've been playing you to the end of the movie. So about the last 20 minutes, I thought was the best part of the whole movie. I mean,
no, it took way too long to get there too.
Yeah.
I think they ended the movie at the perfect time. So I don't think they should have gone into the stuff that happens later on, because Gacy really is the focus of the movie, and Gacy was dead.
Yeah.
It didn't run the risk of being too long. It wasn't Return of the King where it had 10 different endings.
Yeah.
It was a movie that ended at the perfect time that it needed to be ended at. The last 20 minutes almost felt like it was directed and shot cinematography-wise by a completely different group of people. But still, those guys that did that ending should have done the whole fucking movie, in my opinion.
I don't know about this production, but I know a good amount of them actually end up shooting the last scenes first.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, especially with like actors actors who are only going to make an appearance in a certain part of the movie or a certain amount of the movie, they're like, oh, let's film them, and then get them out of here.
That's what I think they did with Forsyth. I think they had enough money to pay him for like less than a week. They got that shit all done at once, and then the rest of the production was just this, we're doing a character study and a psychological thriller, and it has no pulse until the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, agreed.
But Forsyth, for me, the accent was on point.
One of my favorite lines is when it's after, like, he kind of cut off contact with him for a second. He keeps calling him up. And finally, like, when he gets on the phone with him, Gacy's like, what are you doing? Did you find another serial killer to talk to?
Yeah. You talking to another fucking inmate?
What, am I not fucking good to you?
I'm waiting for John, it's me, not you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And we need to address this right now before I fucking forget this, because this was the most cringe-worthy fucking part of the movie. This goes, and I'm sure we're going to encounter this several times down the road on True Crime Movie Club. They fucking went for the trope of finally the main character's like, I'm fucking done talking to this creep, and he's fucking leaving the fucking jail, and the serial killer goes, don't you see? You're just like me. We're the same.
Yeah, but he said that the entire time, though.
Yeah, but that's also in all of the other Ted Bundy movies.
Yeah.
It's in,
because I honestly think it's a trope only because it's a truism in real life that
maybe
people who are serial killers see themselves in everybody, or like they want to like impress upon them. They're like, you're not different than me. I'm not crazy. I'm not, different. You're exactly the same.
Yeah, but there are many different ways of portraying that in a scene. Like,
yeah, than to have them blatantly come out and say it.
Yeah, I know, but every way they do it is identical. It's finally the main character has had enough of their shit. They realize that this is a thankless fucking task and that they're being manipulated, and they're always visiting him in the jail. It's never a phone call, and they're always like, goodbye, so-and-so. They're always right about to get executed, and as they're walking down the hallway being let out by the guard, they're fucking back in their cell going, don't you see? We're the same! It's it's just to a T.
What it is it's the exact same idea that's in Red Dragon.
Yes.
But it's not done as well as it's done in Red Dragon. So it's the tropey thing. We should almost come up with our own tropey name for when this happens, like the whammy or some shit like that. They throw the whammy.
Yeah, we
in
need
there.
like the I'm just like you bell.
Yeah, the ding. It's like, here it is. Here's the absolute what I like to call the beginner's level friggin' movie makers. I'll throw this in there because it always works. People love this. It's in every single friggin' movie that has anything to do with the serial killer, and it's literally they all think that, but I think it goes more than just their idea that we're all the same. I think it goes to the fact that we really are, but we are the same.
It's deep, man.
The difference between us is have the ability to not allow those lizard brain feelings of just killing what we can't get to take over. And so, I mean, that...
The difference is I'm not operating an unlicensed cemetery under my crawl space.
Exactly. It's like I have some self-control where these other people don't. So that's where we're different, is that I'm a law-abiding citizen and you're not. So, I mean...
How'd the bodies get in your crawl space, John? I don't know. I don't know how they got there. John, you mean to tell me you don't know why there's bodies in your crawl space? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man.
They were here when I got here.
That is a noodle scratcher.
Listen, there's only three things I'm concerned with. The bears, the brats, and the boys.
Yeah.
Fuck you, John Wayne Gacy. I swear to God.
At least he didn't go the OJ route where he's like giving interviews from jail. I'm going to help find the real killers of these boys in my crawl space. They were obviously put there while I was sleeping to frame me, and I'm going to help the police find the real culprit.
It's me, John Wayne Gacy.
I'm the Gacy.
You know me, I'm a clown.
OJ called himself the Juice. Gacy's like, I'm the Gacy. I'm
Gace.
No, believe it or not, his wife at the time, her family owned some KFC restaurants, and they gave some of them to him to run, and he insisted, because he was in the JC organization, he was one of the JCs, he insisted all of his friends call him the Colonel.
Oh man, that's awesome. Oh, the Colonel.
You cannot give yourself your own nickname.
Pogo the Colonel Clown.
And that's another thing, too. They allude to the Pogo thing. Like, at one point during the flashbacks, he talks about, you like, hey, I'm a clown. You know, you want to see a trick and all that. But they never show him in the Pogo makeup. And that was just kind of like a missed opportunity.
Well, they do show his paintings behind him on
the
at the end
yes.
scene. He's working on that painting.
They'd have to have a makeup department for them to do that, and I don't think that I think the only makeup department was they had some pancake in the back, and they were like, here, put some of that shit on.
Did you guys catch that one line of dialogue when Jason's being pulled out of the cell, and he shouts at him, "Who's the clown now?"
Yeah, who's the clown now? You're gonna die.
Who's the clown now, John? Like, no, it's still John.
Yeah, John's still the clown. He was the clown all the way.
Because he's always been the clown.
Jesse, I understand what you're saying, but I do appreciate, because in reality, he never committed any crime as Pogo. Like, as far as we know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
That we know of.
He's so iconic with the killer clown trope. Like, to the point where a lot of people have theorized that he was the inspiration for Pennywise, but he wasn't, believe it or not. The actual inspiration for Pennywise, as Stephen King tells it, to go on a little journey,
wasn't it Bozo the Clown?
Diversion here. No, he said that he had just gotten done with, I think, a college lecture or a book tour or something, and he got on a red-eye flight, and he goes,
I was on my way home. You do 9, 10, 11 cities in 4 days. It's surreal anyway by the time you get done. Cleveland was the last city, and the plane started to pull away from the gate. We were going to go from Cleveland to Burlington to Portland, where I was going to get off and drive home. The plane pulls away from the gate, and then it pulls back in. I'm sitting in first class. And the door opens again, and Ronald McDonald gets on the airplane. He's fully dressed.
Fully clothed Ronald McDonald, yeah.
You know, and it sits down next to me because I attract weirdness. You know, I'm like a weirdness magnet. And I was so weirded out by that point after all these, you know, rubber chicken dinners and everything else that I wasn't even surprised. Here he is, orange hair, orange shoes, the whole 9 yards. He sits down next to me. This is years ago. Plane takes off. No smoking light goes off. He pulls out a pack of Kents, lights up.
Ronald lights up a cigarette, yeah.
A Kent, and he orders a gin and tonic from the stewardess. He's sitting there drinking a gin and tonic, smoking a Kent, and I say the only thing I can think of, where did you come from? He says, McDonald Land. Yeah, right. So I say, no, really, where'd you come from? And he had come from McDonald Land, which is a real place in Chicago. And he was going to open a McDonald's in Burlington, Vermont. But you talk about surreal.
Sure.
40,000 feet with Ronald McDonald. And you think, what if this plane crashes? I'm going to die next to a clown.
A drunken one, too, yeah. You don't know what it's like.
And that was his inspiration, part of his inspiration for It.
Oh, that's
so.
Yeah,
that's just surreal to think about anyway.
That's fucking awesome. That's gonna happen to us one of these days.
So can we talk about the end of the movie and what happens with, because I think that although it's not the movie itself, I think it's important to go over what happened to this guy.
Yeah, the movie touches on it very briefly at the very end, with literally just one title card. On June 6th, 2006.
666?
Yep, 666, which is the day that Bagels and I incidentally graduated high school. So,
nice.
You know, the seventh seal was opened and we were cast out into the world. Jason Moss committed suicide.
By gunshot to the head.
Yes, apparently after years of struggling with depression, his co-author, apparently, on his book, told the press, oh yeah, I think he may have possibly chosen that date deliberately because he was reading a lot of satanic shit at the end. And it's just...
Yeah, she said that there was a lot of satanic stuff going on with him, but...
He was interviewing Richard Ramirez at the time.
Was he?
Yeah, that's why he was studying all that Satanist occult crap.
So in this guy's defense, he did end up graduating and becoming a lawyer.
Yes, he did.
Worked shortly for the Secret Service, for the ATF, then eventually became a criminal defense attorney in Nevada, his home state. So one thing that is different in the movie from real life is that They make him out to be 18 years old at the time when he's doing this this study. It actually was his law thesis that he was doing this on. So he was a little bit older.
But he met Gacy when he was 19, though.
Yes, but it was because he was working on the whole thing was not a singular class.
No, it was that one paper that he did, and then the culmination of the papers was
It was part of his thesis for law school that he was doing all this stuff for.
And then he had also interviewed all those other killers too that we discussed about, but the film solely focused on the Gacy element. But yeah, and of course you can't even just say true crime movie fashion. This is just a Hollywood thing. Of course, the character is 18 years old, so they have someone twice his age fucking playing him.
Wasn't a terrible casting call, though, as far as age and the way he
but
looked.
you could tell he's not fucking 18.
No, his younger brother looks closer to 18.
They show the footage of him on was it Sally Jesse or whatever it is at the end?
It was Lisa. Remember Lisa, everybody?
So they show that footage, and he looks younger in that footage than the actor does in the movie that's playing him.
Yeah, Jesse Moss was 27 when he was playing Jason Moss. So he's playing someone 9 years younger than him, and it shows.
It does. Although, and we say that saying that I think that Jesse Moss, who is a very big voice actor, he does a lot of voice acting now.
Yes. The retirement home for child actors.
Yeah, he does a decent job. I mean, he has won awards for other movies that he's been in, small parts, nothing big, no award anyone would know about.
That was a weird thing too, because when I looked him up after watching this, I was like, I've never fucking seen this dude in anything before or since. So like, this had to have been like one of his only projects. His fucking resume is huge.
Yeah,
This guy has not stopped working since 1991, and he has had multiple projects every single year since. Most recently, he did voice work for The Hollow. He was in Wolf Cop. He was in Strange Empire on CBC. I'm trying to see if there's anything fucking recognizable. He was on Continuum. But yeah, so, he was in Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is a severely underrated horror comedy, if none of you all have seen that. Great fucking movie.
Still haven't seen it.
Dude, it's so good. Seriously.
I know. People have told me that it's really good.
Watch it with Andrea. It's a great date movie.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd dig it.
It's like Shaun of the Dead.
It's Redneck Shaun of the Dead, but it's so good, like, you look past it. But, he was in Final Destination 3.
Final Destination 3, which one?
That was the third Final Destination movie.
That was the one after Final Destination 2.
Is that the one where it's the highway and like the tree?
Yeah, with the log.
Holy shit! Yep. He plays the kid that gets smashed by the glass.
That's the one at the amusement park.
Yeah, that's right. He's that guy.
Oh, that was the 3D one, right?
Was it 3D?
I think it was in 3D.
Did a Disney Pocahontas voiceover, direct to video. He's in Highlander, the TV show, Hercules.
Nice.
Alice in Wonderland. He's done a lot. I mean, most of this stuff is voice acting work, but like you said, he's done nonstop work. I mean, this guy he's not lazy. He's not a lazy actor by any means.
Yeah, he ain't starving, I'll tell you that right now, because, I mean, it's tough getting fucking work in the business, and this guy has not stopped working. Like, let me see here. In 2018 alone, he had 3 projects. In 2014, he had 6. So, he has not stopped. So kudos to him for that. But, I mean, he's obviously a capable actor. But in this one, I think he was unfortunately at the mercy of a bad script.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad script and low budget.
No, yeah, the writing was crap. But, yeah, this movie wasn't as bad as fucking Green River Killer or whatever.
Few movies are.
That was going to be my parting thing. If you want to watch this movie and enjoy it, you watch something like the Green River Killer movie first.
Yeah, that movie was like the fucking Room of true crime cinema.
You watch that movie for about 10 minutes, then you shut it off, and then you put on Dear Mr. Gacy, and you'll actually enjoy it, because as far as B movies...
It's way better by comparison.
Yeah, way better by comparison of most of the movies that we're going to be covering on this show.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, no, we got to do Gacy House.
Ugh.
Like this one wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I'm pretty sure this movie that I want us to do eventually, we probably won't do it next, because you don't want to do 2 in a row, but there is a paranormal horror film called 8213 Gacy House, and my kid's sister actually told me about this when it came out, and it came out the same year as Dear Mr. Gacy, and it's just about ghost hunters going in the abandoned home of John Gacy. and it was made by the Asylum. So you know it's good.
Can't be bad with that kind of stuff going on.
No, so yeah, we should definitely check that out. This is the part of the episode where normally we say this is shit, go watch something else, but I mean,
watch it.
Honestly, this
this
might be the best Gacy movie out there. We still gotta watch the one with fucking Francis from Pee-wee, though.
Bye-bye.
The one where he's got the killer clown one, where he's got the clown on the front cover dressed up like Pogo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at first I was just like, I don't feel like fucking watching that for the show, just because it's just like, whatever. But then someone pointed out to me, like,
it's like the most well-known.
Yeah, it's the most well-known. It came out at the same time as the Bundy one, and the one where, and the Dahmer one with what's-his-face from the Avengers. Was it Hawkeye Jeremy Renner plays Dahmer.
I've seen that one before, and that one's wow.
I hear that one's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
I mean, Jeremy Renner's fucking pretty talented.
Yeah, he does a very good job. I mean, not to get into that movie too much, but we should do that movie because that one is one that I think that we could have a good long time. I mean, it's far about accuracy. You want to talk about accuracy? That movie nails it.
Yeah, because I mean, originally we were gonna do fucking what the hell was it? Dahmer versus Gacy, and I was just watching the trailer for it, and it's just like, this movie is deliberately bad. So I think like we should like cut that out of the criteria because it just looked fucking stupid, and it's just like, I think it's much more interesting if we talk about low budget films that went awry.
Yeah, their intent was to be historically accurate and be a good movie, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, like Dahmer versus Gacy just looked like a porn. It looked like it was shot on a cell phone. Oh, and speaking of which, by the way, the episode that we were going to do today, that Amityville Mount Misery Road, was shot on a cell phone, I found.
Oh, that's fucking fantastic.
Can't wait to see that.
I don't know if we can try watching that one, but I don't know if we're going to make it through that, to be honest. I mean, it is so, like, I had to wipe the grease from my face after watching the trailer on YouTube.
Do we have a rating system for how we rate these movies at the end?
We should come up with a rating system.
I think we should have a rating system. Like maybe 5 bodies being like the best, 1 body being the worst.
2 out of 4 Gacy's.
How many electric chairs? You know, what do we?
Shit. Sparkies. Old Sparkies.
Yeah, we should call it.
I give the. Oh, should it be 5 stars or 4 stars?
Should 5 or I don't know. 5 sounds good. We can give it because it always gives you an odd number is always better.
Yeah.
I give Dear Mr. Gacy 3 out of 5 Sparkies. What about you, Jeff?
Only because, I mean, we're kind of early in this system, but I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Sparkies because 5 Sparkies to me is going to be like, you know,
best of the crap.
The best.
That's like Zodiac.
The best of the crap.
Yeah.
So yeah, Zodiac would be 5, but Zodiac to me could be.
Well, no, like we can't watch good movies.
Zodiac is the best true crime movie ever
100%.
made.
It's a perfect movie.
I agree. So I would say,
Yes.
I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Sparkies.
Okay, Dan.
Fucking 2.5. Fuck this. It's like I'll set the bar early. Like this was good, but it wasn't great.
yeah, I'm with Dan. I'm at about 2.5 here.
Listen, let me add an asterisk to mine. The only reason I went the full 3 instead of 2.5 is the cinematography is more than competent on.
That's where my 2 are coming from. The other half is for the awesome dialogue.
My 4 because I literally I know I wasn't on last episode because I missed it. I was sleeping even though
you watched it.
I did watch it. So when I compare both those movies together, this one definitely gets a 4 just out of the comparison of the 2. So we'll have to come up with what we consider a 5-star and what we consider a 1 or a 5 Sparky and what we consider a 1 Sparky, so that we can have so we can all be on the same sheet. Because
5 Sparkies is the best of the worst, and I'm trying to think like you see, because usually this is why this show is interesting to me, because we're watching the movies that I have usually deliberately avoided. Because let's be honest here, like, not to degrade the art of filmmaking, we've all made low budget movies here before, and Jeff, I imagine with your work in the military, you've consulted on films before that we will never hear about because of double secret classification.
I also went to acting high school, so I was.
That's fucking cool.
Fucking nerd.
Right on. And Bagels and I did work for our drama club too. I acted in the drama club, and Bagels filmed the drama club shit. So we all understand what it goes into to craft a film. This shit ain't easy.
No.
But we just ask, like, you make an effort.
Yeah, no, and a lot of the times you can tell just by looking at the cover of these films, it's like, this is not going to be a good fucking movie. You know,
isn't that what isn't that why we're choosing these though? Because isn't that the whole point? We're finding the movies
exactly. So that's why
we're literally judging books by their cover.
Right. I'll be honest, I never would have watched this movie if not for this show.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have never taken the time to sit down and watch this
I would
movie.
have skipped right on over it.
And having said that, I am not completely upset with the fact that I watched this movie. I would have hoped for better, but also comparing it to what I saw last week, not as definitely nowhere near as bad.
No.
I could I don't feel bad for having wasted an hour and 43 minutes watching this movie.
Yeah, that's the other thing. This movie should have been 90 minutes.
Yeah. There was a point where in my notes, I wrote, holy fuck, there's 45 minutes left. I was like, holy shit, there's so... Because one of my notes, I was writing down, near the end, prostitute he tries to kill looks like Kristen Stewart. And then I was like, am I near the end?
Oh my god, we didn't even get into that scene. We got to talk about that for like 30 seconds.
So I clicked it to see where I was in my timestamp, and it was like 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I was like, shut the fuck up. There's 45 minutes left in this? Jesus
All right,
Christ.
really quick. There is a scene where fucking his girlfriend, who I had forgotten about for easily a half hour.
Yeah, she just appears again.
Yeah, she appears after, like, telling him, like, this Gacy shit's getting weird, and he tells her to go fuck herself and leaves. She vanishes for a half hour. Then she just knocks on his door and basically says, yeah, wanna fuck? So they get in bed together, and right before they do the dirty, fucking Gacy calls, picks up the phone, and he goes, they're gonna fucking kill me in 6 days!
Yeah, where was the collect call thing? Does he have a direct line now?
No, that was one of the guards would give him access to the office phone because he was slipping him money.
No, there was a collect call part because he says, yes, I'll accept the charges, and she goes, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh.
And
oh yeah, that is right.
So anyway, she says, go fuck yourself, and leaves, and this is how he copes with this. This is how he copes with Gacy calling to tell him he's going to be executed in less than a week and his girlfriend walking out on him again. He decides to go out and rent a prostitute for the night. And
as one does.
The Riverman had a very similar scene to this. The film that we talked about in the last episode about Bob Keppel tracking the Green River Killer by... It's the exact same fucking plot as Bundy and the Green River Killer, but it's a better movie. Anyway... He goes out, hires a prostitute, they get in a hotel room together, and, like, he has her get on the bed, and I guess he decides, I want to see if we really are the same. So he tries violently choking her, not even during sex, just starts doing it, and she
Just like at the beginning, like right out the gate.
Yeah, understandably fucking panics. And then he fucking realizes, holy shit, what the fuck am I doing? Runs out of the hotel room without paying her, which is very rude.
That is kind of rude.
And gets in his shitbox and drives away.
Hey, he paid her with her life.
That's not cool.
That is so not cool.
That's not okay to say.
There's got to be a monetary exchange.
And you also have to have a safe word.
There needs to be a safe word, and then you need to pay a premium, all right? This is only...
Safe word is pogo.
The safe word is pogo, and this is only the basic human decency we're talking about here. But yeah, he gets in his shitbox and drives away, and it's never fucking mentioned again. This guy... Never once does he encounter a fucking cop or any real consequences for what he's done other than fucking Gacy throwing him up against a wall.
Which will go to show you that you can get away with killing a hooker and no one will care.
The less dead.
100%. That's why the Green River Killer killed almost 100 of them. Because society has chosen not to acknowledge these people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Why Lisk gets away with it, with the murders he's getting away with.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest here. Lisk got away with it because he's most likely a fucking cop, but that's another story.
All right, I gotta go.
All right, tune in next week for a new episode of True Crime Movie Club. I'm Jesse. That's Dan. That's Bagels. That's Jeff. And we will catch you in a jail cell not far away.
Laters.
Bring money.
Please send money.